Hello, honorable members of the clan. So let's go to the Gauteng High Court in the Senzo Mewa deleting trial. And it is boring. So when the court resumed this morning, Mr. Baloy then announced to the court that Mr. Mnisi would like to address the court. And of course, Judge Ratha wanted to know what it's about. And he said it's about Mr. Mgomezulu. Once again, my stomach went cold. Like, oh no, no. And then, anyways, it's good news, not bad news, thank goodness. Mr. Gomez Zulu, Mr. Nisi tells the court that Mr. Gomez Zulu's doctor said he should be resting up until the 3rd of November, which is on Sunday, and he will be back in court on the 4th of November, which is next week, Monday. So anyways, Mr. Ratha this time around, he did not fussy up or become petty. Instead, he wanted to know what did Mr. Muzi Sibia think about or thought about that. He said, oh, he's fine, he agrees with it. And then the court then continued, not exactly where they left off, but there were some things that came aboard, which we're going to talk about in my other video. New evidence, understand, and no objection from the judge. Interesting. Anyways, this is what transpired in court today. Oh my goodness. Of course, I understand that we are going through accused number 2's so-called confession. That is Bongani Ntanzi. And the contradictions that are there. Okay, there are 2 Inkabis supposedly, right? And the 2 Inkabis, they decide, hey, we developed a conscience. Can you please come and take our conscience of what happened on the 26th of October 2014, and we're going to tell you nothing but the truth. And already there's contradiction between the 2 consciences. Now, how do you take that one serious? Because the first guy, if I remember very well, this is Muzi. After the incident, he was dropped under a polo light, and the hostel was not too far away from the freeway, and then he walked back. Now we have Ntanzi's confession where after the deed, they went back to the hostel where they walked into whose hostel room? Sibia's. I thought that was Gwabini's. I thought that was Gwabini's room where, what's his name, Zungu was left behind while they went to do the job. And then the other part that I'm failing to understand. Remember how Gininda, in the trial within a trial, painted Bongani Ntanzi as number 1, the biggest gun supplier in South Africa. Remember that? And secondly, now, the same person who's a gun supplier to accuse number 3, 4, 5, and 1, after doing the deed, he's getting threats from Carlos that if you ever dare to mention our involvement, I'm going to delete you. Not only does it once or twice or 3 times, but multiple times. And then the same big gun supplier and Inkabi, he is shaking like a leaf because he's never done this before. That's the part where you just have to know this is a charade. This is a comedy show. 2%, I mean, Gininda seriously is trying us for real. And then you can tell when a person is lying, right? You can tell with the wave of their voice. Sometimes it's confidence. Sometimes it loses confidence. Sometimes when it gains confidence, that's when he has to remember that, hey, I need to sell this story to be true. And then he gets confident. But as he moves, he himself begins to doubt his own story. And then you see the voice dropping. I'm going down. I'm sorry, I can't sing. Can't sing. But I'm telling you guys, I'm like writing notes here and I'm like, huh? Does that make sense to you? It's nonsensical. A whole Inkabi shivers. Whether it's your first time or not, this is a choice you have taken that I am going to make money out of deleting people. And then you shiver. Even if it's your first time, that means this was never your job to begin with. I don't even know why would you call it a job to begin with. Anyways, now the other point that I've asked in my previous video. We keep getting this cell phone 072, the second cell phone number of Kelly Kumalo, pinging at Mululeke. What then happens to the cell phone? What therefore happens? Because we only know that it pinged at Mululeke, which gave Gininda the aha moment that, oh yeah, this was not a robbery gone wrong. This was indeed a hit, because all the other cell phones are accounted for at clinics. But this second cell phone of Kelly Kumalo is pinging elsewhere. Okay, fine. Suppose it was then stolen. Why is it? No, not why. After you've discovered it pinging in Mululeke Street, what therefore happened after that? What happened to it? Because it couldn't just grew legs or grew whatever and switched off itself. What therefore happened to that? We need to follow where it went to. What happened therefore is what I want to know. And then Ms. Zandile Kumalo, hi Zandile, hi. You spoke to 2%. I keep forgetting. You spoke to Mr. Gininda about Mandisa and if they investigated her. Did you hear what he said again in court today? He's adamant that it's your sister who's a mastermind here, not Mandisa. So are you gonna attack Mr. Gininda? You no? You're afraid of him. Oh, okay, I get you. Many people are. It looks like even the judge is like, oh, Gininda, oh, Gininda. But at the same time, you get what I'm trying to say. You're afraid of him, right? Yeah. Boomerang. I get it. Anyways, guys, I just had to speak to Mohawk here. Sorry. Zandil. But you know what? Another thing that I also found quite interesting. How Vodacom Records versus Zandile Kumalo, who clearly told the court that when they came back from clinics, or from the clinic, they found the mother's cell phone on the kitchen counter and Senzo's cell phone was somewhere under a stove in the kitchen. And yet it was accounted for at the clinic. And then, of course, even though Mr. Ramusipile did end up withdrawing that objection, but Vodacom says not all the cell phones were accounted for at the clinic, as well as the other one, 072, found and or pinged in Mululeke Street. Now the question is, Now the question is, why did Zandile Kumalo lie about that? Why did she lie about her mother's cell phone as well as Senzo Meyowa's cell phone? And the other interesting thing that when you actually think about it, the two bullets or the two gunshots, well, there is a theory that there's actually a third gunshot that shot the shooter. Apparently, he is missing, but that one is not something I want to talk about. I'm still following it quite closely as to where is it going to all end up for Longwe Twala. I think it's going to end up, I don't know. It's messy because we're going to be hearing something quite disturbing. That's just my opinion. And from me sitting down and doing my calculations, my two IQs, they are just going wild right now about Longwe Twala. Anyways, what else that I wanted to say here? That's just about it that I want to say about what's transpiring inside courtroom right now as they are reading Danzi's confession. Ndanzi cannot be telling a story different from that of Muzi if this happened on the same night as they were together. It's supposed to be a spitting image of each other. And then I get that Gininda is trying to corroborate everything that came from the eyewitnesses in the house, as well as the evidence and the confessions and all of that stuff. I've been trying to hold that one for a long time. I couldn't anymore. Anyways, that's my sign to say let's see each other. Right now, it's a short adjournment. We'll come back and talk about whatever it is going to transpire after the short adjournment. See you guys a little bit later. Goodbye.